Not Tuesday, it is Wednesday. 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 Huh. Wednesday. Internet! Ha ha ha. What up, Internet? It's a happy Wednesday to everybody in and around and on top of the Internet. What's up, Internet? What's going on? What are you doing? What's happening? It's Wednesday, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here on a Wednesday, being weird and doing weird stuff. Welcome to the live show. This show is live. It's 3 o'clock, and I've completely lost who was first to the chat. Sorry. Nope. There it is. Jackson Kobe Larks. I don't know how to say your last name, man. I feel like a dingleberry not knowing how to say it. But Jackson K. Jackson Kobe Larks. I'm saying your name wrong. Hopefully I got it remotely correct. But good to see you. First one to the chat. Congratulations. We got a bunch of early people here in the chat. We've even got ourselves some early super chats here we got to hammer down on, which I think we'll get to in just a minute. I'm going to say what's up to a few people in the chat here, and then we'll get rolling. Dank Tanks, what's up? Dan Squires, the Turtle Girl, Mateo 5001, Lumpy Dog, Charlie List. Good to see you. Joel, straight out of New Swaziland, or wherever you're from. How do you say that? How do you say New Zealand in New Zealander? Do you say Hobbiton? I'm being mean. I'm just giving you a hard time. Good to see all the New Zealanders, all the Aussies, all the whoever's. Are you from the UK? Are you from America? Are you from Canada? Where are you from? I know we got somebody from Portugal here recently, but yeah. Why don't you say hola if you're from somewhere, and you just shout it into the chat. You'd be like, I'm from somewhere. Me, I'm from Western Washington in the United States. And I got to remember that I put cold coffee in this cup. Oh, yeah. Cold coffee. Delicious. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. But I had to remember that it was not hot coffee. It would have freaked me out. It's a good thing I remembered that it was cold coffee ahead of time. So, that's good. And but let's see. Who else is here in the chat? Going wild. We got Turbo Fish here, one of the regulars. Charlie List. Like I said, Jackson was first to the chat. They're mentioning the famous UPS guy. Actually, the UPS guy was just outside. He wasn't here. I think he was delivering something to my super awesome neighbor who lives right across the street. Super cool dude. And so I think it looked like, UPS guy was just throwing a quick thing across the street, which still makes my dogs go bananas for whatever reason. I still don't know why. I still don't know why. It's going to be freak out time for those dogs. I don't know why. But we got Wushu Jimmy Brown. We've got the Turtle Girl. We've got Bentley Pascal. What's up, my man? Good to see you. Vexing Cat is here. We got Soggy Pits rolling up. Good to see you, Soggy Pits. It's a strong one. We've got the glorious Lord Getface here. We've got Cindy Lou Roman showing up. We got Gone Mad in the house. What's up, my man? Fish Girl from Connecticut? I think that's what it is. CT? I'm thinking that's Connecticut, right? Something like that. Hope I got it right. KG Cichlids is here. Ed's Fish. Hanaxolotl Jones. What's up? Kim Yawarski. What's up, Kim? Good to see you. We got Kyle Knudsen. We've got Rumbust. We've got Fishhead 92925. Sorry, that's not a 9. That's a 2. That's a 9. Then a 2. Then a 5. right? Something like that. Damon Potter's here. Good to see you. Edgar Lopez, what's going on? Kevin Keener, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Mr. D's on time. Not 100%. I guess you're on time. Mile High Plecos, amongst a whole bunch of other people. If I missed anybody, sorry. I'll do my best to say hi to you at some point in time in the chat. If you're throwing up stuff into the chat, I read it as well as I can. Sometimes you guys get going buck wild and I can't keep up. And I'm like, oh, what's happening? What's happening? They're chatting so fast, I don't even know what's happening. But let's look at the chat here real quick, where we got going. Kevin Keener says it's pouring rain in Western Washington. You are correct. It is raining. It is cold. Agnar Freyr is Ola from Iceland. Whoa. We got an Icelander in the house. Right on. Representing. Kyle Paith out of Michigan. Dank Tanks is apparently in Antarctica. I find that hard to believe. Sneaky, sneaky Pete. We got Indiana in the house. We got Yorkshire, UK coming in strong. Wichita, Kansas. California. New York. Whoa. Vancouver, Canada. Oh, that's Flynn's Fish Forum. Of course he's in Vancouver. What's up? It's one of my favorite Canadians right there, the young Master Flynn. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check him out. He's always doing some cool fish tank stuff. He's like traveling around. I think the other day I saw he was over at the aquarium coop and I missed him. But I did see him when we were at the Aquatic Experience in Chicago, which was a lot of fun. Trying to catch up with everybody here. Bentley Pascal is asking, the GSAS auction on the 21st, am I going? I think that's the 21st of April, right? Oh, the GSAS is the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society general auction. They have a big auction, I believe, every 6 months. Don't quote me on that, but I know that there's a big one in April. That's April 21st, but they relocated the location. So I will have to consider whether I'm going to go or not, because they moved it much more north than it used to be. They used to have it in West Seattle, which isn't too bad of a drive, but once I get past, once you go past up north of Seattle, it starts getting a little crazy to travel up that direction. So I'll have to figure out if it's something I can do or not. I might. I don't know. I got to see if I can fit it into my schedule or not. I did get a message earlier today that there may be more travel this year, so it might be a no. It might be a no. I don't know. We'll see if it fits in or not. It's really what it boils down to. If it does fit in, then maybe I'll go. Although, to be brutally honest, the last few Greater Seattle Aquarium Society auctions that I've been to, there wasn't a ton of stuff for me to really purchase. So, and it is very much just an auction the whole entire time. So there isn't a whole lot of like, presentations or meet and greets or anything like that happen. So that's normally their typical meeting, during the week. They have like presenters or speakers or any of that kind of stuff. They'll come out for that kind of stuff, which would be, I think, more along the lines of something that like my spouse would like to go to, but them being on Tuesday night is almost just impossible to try and go to. So I wish that they would do more of an event with those auctions, but it really does take them all day to auction off all of the stuff. So I don't know how they would ever manage to work that out. So. But I don't think I'll necessarily be going, because the last few times I've been, I'm like, oh, cool, look at all this stuff. Absolutely nothing I need to get. Okay, cool. So that's just my honest me, like being honest about going, is that like, there really isn't just a ton of stuff that I need to get here. So I might go, I might not go. The ReefWorks event, there wasn't really stuff to buy necessarily at the the ReefWorks event when I was there, but there was a bunch of presentation type stuff, cool things to check out, things, you know, in that vein. So it was like, oh, okay, I could definitely take Vicky. We could run up to go do that for a couple of hours and then come back. Whereas I think the auction could just end up being an all-day thing of actual auctioning, you know what I mean, of just auctioneer type stuff. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on to your horses. We've got a birthday. Crystal Hazlitt. Now, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to Crystal. Happy birthday, Crystal. Got a little live stream action on your birthday. Cool. 4-4. Ooh, you got a 4-4. I like that. I like them birthdays with that repeating number. Speaking of birthdays, you guys, it is tax season, as you guys know. My birthday is coming up. My birthday is coming up hard and fast, which means it's time for me to do my taxes. And I'm happy to say they are completed. So I got all my taxes done today. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good to get all my taxes done today, get those sent in, all that done. All this paperwork over here cluttering up my desk can go into the manila folder to be hidden away for the next 7 years and then incinerated. So, yeah, I'm happy to say that I got my taxes done. I mailed in my check. Well, I paid them, basically. Sort of one of those days where you just kind of go, oh, man, yeah, here, have all this. Great. Fantastic. And, yes, I shall go back to feeling super poor again. Which, I don't care. It feels good to have it done, and I don't have to worry about it until next year, other than the pre-planning that goes into it. So, but happy to say that's all done, and I got my taxes done. As Kevin's saying, taxes done for the birthday win. Yes, it's legit. As, I think has come up in quite a few chats out there in the world over the time. I'm a tax day, baby. Tax day, baby. And, you know. So, being a tax day, baby, it's always good to get my taxes done ahead of time. I remember one year I left them until my birthday, and then I sent out a big old tax check on my birthday, and then I was depressed because I had no money left. You know, so, you know, I'm happy to say to have them done, obviously, only 2 weeks ahead of time. I think it's on a different day. I think it's the 17th this year, right? Yeah, tax day is the 17th this year. So, luckily, I got all that done, and I don't have to worry about it until next year, and we're good to go. But I got some other governmental type stuff to do and make sure that my passport status is legit, so we'll get all that handled and stuff. And happy birthday to Crystal. Hopefully you got that. And maybe you can isolate that audio and play it later or something like that. And speaking of isolating the audio, we are diligently working on getting these episodes up as a podcast format. So those of you that like jogging or hiking or just driving your car around for hours and hours on end and like to listen to the yammering of my voice, we're so close. We are so close. Mr. Dan Squires and myself are coordinating some of getting that done, and it looks like we're right on the brink. I know I said last week we were right on the brink, but honestly, I wanted to finish my taxes before I sent off a check to anybody else. So that kind of was the big impediment. And maybe at some point in time, I don't know, maybe someday we'll do a different format, podcast type thing. But in the meantime, we'll just be uploading these, all of the curated YouTube versions of the live streams and stuff like that, and getting those jammed up onto the podcast, so you guys can catch up on those if you happen to be way behind. And that's a much easier way to catch up. It's definitely a way that it's definitely one of the ways that I absorb a lot of information personally. I download a ton of podcasts, whether they're historical podcasts or sports podcast, whatever it is, comedy podcast, doesn't matter. I ingest a ton of that stuff while I'm working. I just listen to it. I either listen to metal, right, or they or I listen to a podcast. You know what I mean? I'm either listening to loud music or a podcast. Probably 50-50 to a certain degree, but so I think that's something, it's something that I like, and it's something that I like to do, and so, I'm looking forward to seeing how that project goes, Maxwell Sonneman showing up saying, hey, what's up? Good to see you, Maxwell. Magic 21 Mom is here. Kevin Keener. I'll always say hi to Kevin Keener constantly. What's up, my man? Rich Andy, what's up? Denise Bender saying, wow, Corey, safe travels. It's not Wi-Fi, it's hi-fi. Yes, as we got let's catch up on the super chats here. We had an early super chat before the show even got going from my man Rumbust. Still loving his avatar. I've got a few avatars that I really, really love. I really, really love them avatars, and Mr. Rumbust is one of them. I dig it. I love that mustache style, my man. Says 1420 plus 1422 missed Super Chat Monday. Hashtag jewelry in tanks. I think. Jewelry in tanks. Hashtag jewelry in tanks. I'm confused by that hashtag, but maybe he'll bust into the chat and let us know what he's talking about. I'm confused. 1420 plus 1422. So 2842 Swedish crowns. Man, it's all in secret code, Rumbust. It's in secret code. I don't know. I'm confused. I feel like I'm missing something here. And I feel like I'm missing something really obvious. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. Hey, power of the internet. Can we figure this out? I'm confused. Rumbust is one of my favorite guys, and I feel like I'm missing a message here. Like there's a secret message. Is there a secret message? I don't know. I'm just confused. I'm just admitting my confusion. All right. But we've got a $2 super chat here from Eric Gone Mad, one of our big-time supporters, my man. I really appreciate it. He's saying, Gone Happy, he's got his stickers. I'm so happy that people are getting their stickers in the mail. Hey, I love, some people posted some Facebook posts, and I don't know that I responded to them properly because of a bunch of nonsense that was going on yesterday. And I think there was just a lot going on with the traffic and all the chaos going on. Me trying to move about geographically was a big problem. And I don't think I responded to them properly, but I definitely appreciate seeing like the Facebook posts and that kind of stuff. Well, I know we have a real tight knit. We have a small group here on the Dark Star Aquatics. We have a small group on Dark Star Aquatics, and I did see a couple of posts up on there of people with some new shirts in the mail. I haven't seen any sticker posts yet. I am interested to see what people are going to stick the stickers on. What are they going to stick them on? Are they going to put them on their car? I don't know. I always feel like it's weird to put stickers on my car, but I do have some state stickers now. As Vicky and I cruise around, we're starting to go, every time we're in a different state, we should probably grab a sticker while we're there. The jewelry you'll get if you check Patreon. Oh, I've got to check Patreon, you guys. Wait, I'm confused. What am I doing? What am I doing? Am I supposed to check Patreon? I'm so confused. Community. Here we go. We got a Barbara. We got a Beck. We got a Rumbust. Oh! I'd forgotten. I'd completely forgotten about this. Yeah, Rumbust has a post on the Patreon community page that will make the jewelry in tanks make sense. I had completely forgotten. That is awesome. All right, I dig that. That makes sense. That makes sense now. See, it seemed like there was something that was like really just like, I felt like I was just missing something that should have been obvious. So I was like, I just couldn't even figure it out. But all right, thanks, Rumbus. Thank you for your super chat, and thanks for the Patreon post. That makes total sense now. Okay, now I'm piecing it together. Check it out. I think I can figure it out if you actually put a picture up. Like, if you actually, so you actually put up a picture, then I'll get it. All right, we've got a $20 super chat here from the Aquarium Co-op saying, is this a first? A super chat from a plane. Well, thanks, Kobe. Mr. Kobe himself, super chatting from the sky. How many thousands of feet are you in the air? 38,000 feet? He's flying around. He's flying around and is going to land in China. He's going to lose his Wi-Fi as soon as he gets over to Chinese airspace, though. I'll tell you that much. Or wait, how does that work with international flights? Does it apply to where you're going or where you're coming from? I forget how that works. I don't know. I'm not a pilot, so it doesn't matter. But that might be the first super chat from a plane. It's the first one I've ever seen. It's the first super chat I've ever gotten on my show from an airplane, so that is for sure. I can definitely say that. Sorry, my bride just posted something. She says, or my future bride. Sorry. Always got to put that in there. She just wants Alfredo and breadsticks, you dig? Oh, Vicky Toria is always interjecting something great into my life. Doug of the North with a $4.99 super chat, checking in to make sure that the super chat button works. It says, mine seems to work. Seems like the super chat button's working up in Alaska. Thank you very much, Mr. Douglas of the North. I haven't seen any new updates from Douglas in a little while. And that doesn't mean that he hasn't been putting them up. I just might be out here flying around in outer space. I don't know. And just not noticing them. But Doug put out a couple of videos about him building some stands and stuff that I thought were fantastic. I really liked him a lot. Joel G. of New Swaziland, with a $2 Kiwi chat, saying, Daryl Dimer, your post on Facebook yesterday was perfect. Oh man, somebody's got to link me that. What was his post on Facebook yesterday? I don't know what it was, but if Daryl Dimer's hitting it perfect, I would be likely to agree, because Daryl Dimer's generally on point, so probably no argument there from me. And thanks for the super chat, Mr. Joel. Alvin Alejo with a $2 super chat saying, hola, amigo. Hola, ¿cómo está? Estoy bien. Todo bien aquí. Hey, where are you going? Hey, man, come here. Sorry, Mr. Chips. Mr. Chips needs some attention. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come on, up. Yeah, there's my boy. Needed my boy here. My little boy, he's a dog, Mr. Chips. He doesn't like to be held up on the camera, so just trust that he's here. Honestly, that's what's going on. But good to see you, Alvin. Thanks for coming out. Jeffro's Fish Keeping with a giant $20 super chat going huge, saying, what up, Joel and all of the Fish fam? Love you and love the show. Keep up the good work, brother. Well, hey, man, when people start dropping in $20 super chats, that kind of makes it. Let's just be brutally honest here. You know, it's like if I was playing piano at a dive bar somewhere, and like the old Billy Joel song, if somebody comes drop a little something in the tip jar, you know what I mean? It's like, it makes it easier to keep playing the piano, if you know what I mean. So, thank you very much, Jeffro. Thank you, everybody, for your super chats today. Oh, man, there's just more of them coming in. Look out. Let's see. Nisi says, hashtag NisiFail. I haven't had time to fix video 3 and officially post 1 and 2 to the world. Doug's videos are your fault. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's actually kind of cool, because I was thinking that I may have missed number 3 in the fish tank cabinet building and all that. And I was hoping that after hoping that wait, what happened? What was I talking about? Oh man. I was talking about Doug's video. I was hoping that number 3 came out, and Gillett sent me a big text here that I was trying to read. But I thought I had missed number 3, but it turns out I haven't missed number 3. Cool, it hasn't come out yet. Okay, good. And they haven't released 1 and 2 to the public yet. They're still private. Totally cool. Totally cool, but that gives us something to look forward to once those come out. I thought they were great. I thought they were really awesome. So I look forward to seeing number 3, and I look forward to them getting released to the public. That'd be great. Let's check it out here. Okay, all right. I was reading Dimer's chat from the world, or from the Facebook, and now I've got it in my head, and I have to agree, Gillett. I concur. That's a great post. Awesome. Denise Bender with a $2 super chat from the. That looks like it's from the iPhone, because it's $1.99. Thank you very much, saying love Mr. Chips. I love Mr. Chips too. I 100% agree. And Vexing Cat busting in with a $5 super chat saying some scritches for Mr. Chips. Oh, he thanks you very much. You know, man, if you guys, I think realistically, these dogs get a lot of treats, a lot of goodies, a lot of awesome stuff. They get a lot of good things in their lives and stuff, and a lot of that has to do with you guys showing up. So thank you very much. JJ Aquariums throwing $1 in the old tip jar. Thank you very much, my man. I certainly appreciate it, man. Certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much. The same old guy says Corvus Ashen rules. Keep it real with a winky eye. Oh, thank you. I always keep it real, man. That's what I do. That's kind of my thing. You know what I'm saying? So, Jad Orzi is here also. Cool. Good to see you. Let me load this up and make sure that this is legit. Okay. We're going over to the we're going to be rolling over to the video here pretty early. We're going to go over to the video here in probably 2 minutes time. I'm going to say hi, answer a couple more questions out of the chat here. Kim Jaworski saying, I totally love the comment you made yesterday about people who have ill remarks and being disingenuous. Well, there are a lot of dramatic people out there that think there are a lot of there's a lot of that they feel like, oh, there should be a lot of drama in the world, and I disagree with them. I think it's ridiculous, and yeah, you know, I think it's ridiculous. So hopefully we've all moved beyond it, and yeah, because I don't even think it's worth really talking about. Just a bunch of people acting ridiculous, I guess, realistically. I just think that's all that it really is. But right before we go to the video segment here, I'm going to say 2 quick thank yous. One to Jay Wilson. If you've never checked out Jay Wilson's channel, check him out. We did a little collaboration question answer kind of situation. That video got dropped today. You should definitely check that out if you like. Also, check out Jay Wilson's channel. He's got a bunch of cool fish tank stuff. He's got a bunch of cool fish tank videos and things along the lines of fish tankery. Check him out. Check that out if you like. I'd also a big shout out to the Aquarium Co-op for throwing me on and having me do the unboxing today. So, strangely enough, I've got multiple videos coming out on multiple channels today, so thank you everybody for watching all that stuff, and thank you everybody for watching all that stuff, tuning in, commenting, and you know, just being generally supportive, man. If it's something that you like, awesome. You know, just being supportive and that kind of stuff just encourages everybody to keep making the good stuff, you know, and that's what I want to keep doing, and so that's what I'm gonna keep doing, you know. So thanks everybody for you know, the liking and sharing it around and all that kind of stuff, and I totally appreciate it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate other channels having me on and stuff too. I hope that everything is up to snuff, but it's just gonna keep getting better and better. I got some big plans in the works, you guys, and hopefully they just keep getting. I keep getting every little inch closer and closer to those goals and stuff. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty enthusiastic. How's that Rick roll go? It's like, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Right? Isn't that how it goes? So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and getting closer and closer to doing bigger and bigger and bigger and better projects and funner and fudder and more entertaining jazz and stuff like that. You know, maybe Netflix is gonna come on board. When's that gonna happen? You know, we talked a lot about superheroes yesterday, and boy howdy, I don't necessarily want to make myself into a superhero, but I definitely want to get involved in a superhero project. That would be super fun. I can't wait to get my hands on somebody's $300,000 camera again. I look forward to the day that happens again. Right? I look forward to the day that happens again. Sean Creeb says, you did all right, mate, but Jimmy is my favorite unboxer. Still a big fan. Yeah, hey, man, Jimmy's my favorite unboxer, too. So I couldn't even argue that opinion because I have the same opinion. I kind of walked in there blind. I've never done an unboxing before. I've never done anything in that nature except for at some... I mean, I've like opened up boxes of stuff before, for sure. But generally the store opportunities that I had to open up boxes and shipments and stuff like that, they were coming from, or they was for a saltwater store. So it's just completely different how things go with that. And, you know, the saltwater stuff was always landing from, you know, the other side of the planet, you know, and pick it up at the airports. Everything is just chaos, you know, and the unboxing is completely different. So I don't even know how you would really film like a saltwater store unboxing that was coming in internationally like that, because, you know, typically there's, you know, there's buckets everywhere, like you know, all of the things that need to get done with the saltwater stuff coming internationally is like, oh, you know, it's like, oh no, another dead bag, you know, and it's just, so it actually was really cool to do that unboxing, but if I ever do another one, I think I'll probably be a lot better at it because, you know, one of the things I should have done is read the invoice or the shipping, you know, the packing invoice. I should have read that ahead of time, so I kind of at least had an idea of what was coming out. I thought in my infinitely terrible wisdom, I thought, wow, this would make a better video if I'm surprised every bag that comes out. And then I realized, like, I'm like, huh, what is this? What is this? You know, I'm like, what? Huh? Who is that? What's in here? You know, and I so I'm not that good at it, but maybe someday I'll be super good at it. But who knows? I thought it was a fun little thing to do. And I definitely appreciate the opportunity. So and I thought it was fun to do, and it was fun to do. So, you know, so I hopped in there to try and do that, kind of mix it up a little bit. And, so, you know, let's see, it might be a bit much. Oh, JJ's Aquariums with a $2 super chat saying #FishFam. Joel is definitely the sexiest man alive. Well, I would definitely have to argue with that because Clooney's still around, right? I'm not even saying I'm in the same ballpark as George Clooney, but that dude's alive still, right? Right? I mean, I saw him on. Has anybody seen the new David Letterman? The new David Letterman show on Netflix is awesome, right? The new David Letterman show on Netflix is amazing, and his first guest is George Clooney. So if you go watch that episode and you just kind of stare at George Clooney for a second, you start to realize, like, oh, this guy's just an upper echelon kind of, you know, this is a good looking dude. It's amazing. You know, and of course, second guest, I can't remember all the guests that were on there, but definitely a really cool show. The first one was George Clooney. I do know that. So, but go check that out. Definitely, JJ, nobody hates you at all. I think that's pretty funny though. You know, hey man, as long as you're not super chatting with like swears or anything really crazy like that, I don't care. So I think it's funny actually. So, but do recall that, you know, sexiness is just an opinion, right? And, you know, opinions can't be wrong if it's just a matter of, you know, what you think. That can't be wrong, right? And I would have to say that if somebody thinks I'm super sexy, I wouldn't want to, like, argue with them, but I wouldn't say sexiest alive, you know what I mean? It's just because, you know, I mean, Clooney, he's a guy. He exists. Yeah. Edward Norton exists. Right? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of... I don't have anybody behind me today. I've got Lauren Bacall back here. Wait, I think that's Lauren Bacall. Right? Yeah, I think. I don't know. To people wondering why there's a different painting back here, I actually pulled this off the wall in my house, and I'm actually... you probably can't tell as well in the on the camera here necessarily because of just kind of how far away it is. I'm actually just looking at the tones of it for the next piece that I'm working on because I want to just make sure that the tones are right in line with this. You know, while I mix paint and stuff to make sure that as I start my layout and stuff for the next piece that I'm working on, I want it to match this. So that's why I've got it in here right now. And I'm going to be, you know, the next piece is going to be those tones, plus some other stuff. So it's going to be pretty cool. Oh, come on, Mr. Chips. Okay, there you go. Sorry, Mr. Chips making my foot fall asleep, and it's killing me. Savannah the Aqua Llama says Jason Momoa is pretty sexy. I have to say, the times that I've met Jason, he's friends with a good friend of mine. I'm not friends with him. I've met him. But he's really good friends with a good friend of mine. So, like, I've actually met him. He's not the hugest guy you've ever met, but he is pretty big. One of the nicest dudes I've ever met. I would put him up there. I would definitely put him up there in the... This dude is so nice. I will tell you that Jason Momoa was just like the nicest dude. And just a genuine guy. Like he just literally, that just is who he is. So definitely a cool dude. Very nice. And, you know, yeah, That's the only one in the chat there that I saw that I've met. Because, you know, I've never met Hemsworth or any of those guys. Or Clooney. Never met any of those guys. But Jason Momoa is super nice, man. And somebody was asking me a while ago because they were like, "You've met that dude? You know somebody that knows that dude?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Are you going to get Aquaman to come on to Real Fish Talk?" And I was like, "Yeah, I tried." And my buddy told me to stop asking stupid questions like that. And I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I'm not even going to pass this on. Okay, just stop asking stupid questions." I was like, "Yeah, okay, I tried." And he was like, "Okay, I can't blame you for trying." So, so yes, I did try to get Aquaman to come on, but I was quickly sorted out by my buddy, who's just like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And I was like, I don't know, man. And he, you know, luckily he was like, "Dude, yeah, I don't blame you. I would probably ask too." You know, so it seemed appropriate because he was Aquaman, right? I was like, "Look, man, this all makes sense. This all makes sense because he's Aquaman. Real Fish Talks about fish and stuff. Does this not at all, right?" Okay, yeah, that's pretty much what it boiled down to. It was like, "Man, you're really reaching, aren't you?" You know. Let's see here. Try to catch up with the chat here a little bit. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. All right, so let's stop talking about famous people, whatever. Sorry about that, but we've got sidebar. Let's get back onto our pearlweed conversation because that is the topic of the day. Green Ghost is asking, is pearlweed a new strain from Tacoma? Nope. I am talking about the plant Hemianthus Micranthemoides. And I'm probably saying that wrong. And somebody's going to freak out and be like, so here you go. I'm just going to paste it into the chat. Boom. There you go. Now you guys can copy that, paste it wherever you want. The Hemianthus glomeratus is how I was initially introduced to it when I was a much younger man, a much more dashing man, wasn't so funky looking as I am now. But this is, I would say that pearlweed is probably one. It's not the first. I wouldn't, yeah, because first is not right. But this is one of the early on YouTube got a lot of traction when I was doing pearlweed carpets a long time ago, many years ago, right? When I had started out doing some YouTube stuff, I almost always had to answer questions about pearlweed. Because they were almost always like, "Oh man, what's with that? What's with this? What's with it? I gotta get that. I gotta get some of that. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it?" Because you know, would relatively, or I would almost always just refer to it as pearlweed, kind of the street name, you know, because it's the easiest way to just run into it. And like explain it to people, like it just, if you're like just talking, it's the easiest way to kind of relate to it. It is almost always super difficult to try and throw out Latin names to people. Pronunciations are so different, all that kind of stuff. Pearlweed is pretty much the street name for it, right? And it is an awesome plant. It's one of my so I'm trying to relate to you guys that it's one of them that I used to have to answer questions to a lot because this thing will carpet, it'll spread out, and it is a vibrant green. It is easier. It is much easier to grow than dwarf baby tears, and in my water, it's much easier to grow than per se. Drawing a blank. Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo grows super slowly and tries to stay under the substrate as it grows around for whatever reason, right? And it's not that I'm giving up on the Monte Carlo that I have growing here. It's actually doing fairly well in the 150 now that I've made some changes. But I need to get some carpet action. I need to get some vibrant green back into my scapes. And so the opportunity came up to get some pearlweed, and then I realized that it's time to go back to pearlweed. I just have to go back to it. Like, there's no fighting it. There's no fighting going back to it. Corey's over there talking about cookies. He's talking about these cookies right here. I've got only a couple left from Victor. Wherever Victor is, thank you, man. The Biscoff cookies are a delight, and thank you for sending those out. Pretty soon today, I got to go out and try to find me some Mr. Browns because I've run out. I've been out of Mr. Brown's for a really long time, and I'm going to have to go to the H Mart is where I have to go to find them, which is a local Asian market, which is a fantastic grocery store, although half the labels in there I can't read. And but luckily I have the chef's eye and can figure out what most things are. So Ed's Fish is saying, all sold out at the coop. Never fear. The pearlweed will be back at the aquarium co-op. I'm sure it's currently sold out, but I know that they get it in on a regular basis. But this is certainly one of those plants that I would take a consideration on what your water is like flat out, okay? Without having to do a lot of crazy work to change your water and stuff like that. Or you can realistically, that you're realistically going to be fighting it so much that you're going to end up with a lot of algae in it. It's going to be problematic for you. It's going to be problematic for you. And, so if you're fighting your water, I would just quit. I would just not quit fish keeping, but quit fighting the water. But just make sure that you got some reasonably soft water that's not, crazy hard or anything like that. It's just going to be an easier plant if you're not constantly fighting against the water that you need, right? So, a slightly softer water, not super hard water or any of that kind of stuff. Figure out your fertilizers, which you're going to need. I find that this actually grows really, 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 really well in the ADA soils and Fluval stratums and stuff like that. Eco-Complete actually works really, really well. So that kind of stuff is going to work out for you quite well, but I definitely wouldn't be fighting your water. So if you had hard water and stuff like that, I would look into Monte Carlo instead of pearlweed, because the Monte Carlo will actually grow pretty darn well in your hard water, whereas I struggle to try and remineralize enough to get it to be happy, and then I'm throwing things on the ground. No, I don't totally freak out. I'm just like, come on, man, grow. And then I get a little frustrated. But let's go over to the video segment. Here's some pearlweed right here. And for whatever reason, the video didn't start at the beginning. Pardon this really weird coloring and this background I got going here. I got everything out and in place and then forgot that, I don't have a table in my fish room anymore. So I had to do this sort of makeshift table situation, and it doesn't look the best on camera, but I figure what the hey, it's just a little intro part. If anybody goes crazy and yells at me, that'll just have to be their thing, right? It'll be the thing that they're going for. Breaking it apart is almost feels wrong when you're breaking this up. You got to break it down pretty readily, kind of aggressively, and just kind of tear it up into these little chunks. Planting it is the same advice that I would give people if you are planting dwarf baby tears or anything like that, you want to break this down into individual little segments of plants and take the time to plant them as individually as possible. Now, you don't need to go completely insane and break them into individual. But if you can get these little segments that, you know, have 6 or 7 little roots coming off of them, and then spread those out where you're planting them, it'll work out quite well in the long run. The first thing that's happening in the video here is me actually pulling out some of the chunks of Monte Carlo that I stuck back in there, because when I stuck the Monte Carlo back in there, it's because I didn't have you know, anything else on hand that I was going to put and replace in this area right here. The pygmy chainsword that is kind of encroaching on the right where I am right here in the corner is going to have to be pretty aggressively trimmed back fairly soon. And to open up some space, the aerial column isn't really going to go anywhere. It'll stay put. It's got probably a couple months before it splits off. It needs to get pulled out, split, and put back in again. So I'm not concerned about that. And I'm going to fill in this front area with the pearlweed. Let it get a good amount of light, a good amount of flow. And I'm really liking this. I'm really liking this sort of oversized fluorite substrate that's up in here. It's actually just a laterite mix that I found. I cannot direct anybody to go find that substrate anywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. I found some really old bags of substrate that a friend of mine had in their basement. So to really give somebody advice on exactly where you could go find that, I just can't give you guys. I can't give you the answer. And, you know, I feel bad about that. And I feel bad about throwing anything in my aquarium that I can't send you guys down the right path to go find. But I would certainly look into just look up laterite, and if you find some pretty cool laterite out there, you'll be pretty darn close to what I put in here. Candy overhauls with the mad tweezer skills. Hashtag mad tweezer skills, and mad props to Candy overhauls. If you go to my main page on YouTube, it says Mad Tweezer Skills. That's from Candy Overhauls. Respect to Candy Overhauls coming up with the Mad Tweezer Skills. Someday I'll do a Mad Tweezer Skills shirt. But why haven't I done the Mad Tweezer Skills shirt yet? None of your business. That's why I haven't done it yet, but I'll get to it. And then you'll understand why when I get to it. Why I got to it at that point. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, G? Gia. Right? Boy. Let's see. Ed's Fish is saying, what about floating pearlweed? I've floated it in my sump before, and it does okay for a while, but it will eventually, because it has a tendency to like roll over and kind of clump and get weird down there, so I wouldn't recommend floating pearlweed. It's not the greatest. It's not the greatest way to do it, but you can certainly grow this above water. I would get it some substrate and let it grow above water. It grows these really tiny leaves and looks super, super, super awesome, like as a houseplant or something like that. It's just difficult to keep it wet enough as a houseplant. So if you had kind of a cool paludarium or something like that that was kind of spraying water around and misting and doing cool stuff like that, which I wish I was working on one of those right now, you'd be really impressed by how cool it looks when it grows up above the waterline. And to anybody out there that freaks out if I'm eating a cookie during the show, sorry. I don't mean to ruin your ears for me having eaten a cookie, but I'm a fiend for these cookies, and Corey started talking about cookies, and my jealous rage said I gotta have an airplane cookie. Which, you know, I'm not blaming it on Corey. I'm blaming me eating it on myself, but I'm just explaining that's what happened. Let's see. Trying to catch up on everybody's chat here. The Mist King. Yeah, it is. It's hard to mist it if you're growing it as a potted plant, like in your house. It's hard. It's difficult to mist it and keep it the proper moisture level. But if it is growing somewhere where it can wick water up through the substrate, generally speaking, you're going to be all right. Mateo says, "Did you bring it up for the chat?" Well, we've got 191 people in here. I don't even know where. I'd be able to come up with that many cookies. I don't have that many. No. Thanks, everybody, for coming out, by the way. It's awesome to see 191 people here on a Wednesday. A hump day. CJ Black just popping in here to leave a like. Is that Lauren Bacall? That's right. That is Lauren Bacall. Mile High Pleco says, "How now, brown cow?" Nice. Nice. I like it. Let me catch up with this chat here. Somebody was asking a question earlier. Let's see here. The Fishman popped in and said, "A little off topic. I want me some rams. Tips on softening hard calcium water. Not too much. They're coming from 7.6. I'm at 8. If you're that high up and you're just dropping it down a little bit like that, I would just look into some RO water realistically and filter it down a little bit on some of your water changes. That'd probably be the easiest way to do it. Realistically, you're only trying to drop 0.4 from 8 to 7.6. So I basically would just do some RO water. You could add some peat. You could add some driftwood. You could add some catappa leaves. You know, all those kinds of things. It's not super difficult to get down that little bit. Should be fine. Let's see here. Robert Ricapito, when you were eating and drinking during the stream, is it really like, or it is really like when you're hanging with your friends? Yeah, I apologize about it because some people get super pissed, but it's just the life of the thing, man. This thing's a couple hours long, and I haven't eaten anything since this morning, which admittedly is my fault also. But man, if somebody starts talking about cookies, and I'm gonna have a cookie, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So let's see. All right. Somebody else. Kevin Keener says, "I get pissed when I attempt mad tweezer skills. Joel makes it look easy." Well, that's right, from practice, my guy. That's from practice. That's from me actually practicing at the mad tweezer skills and trying to get good at it, right? Nobody's born perfect. Nobody. Let's see. I really like the Balbitos in my aquarium. Trying to catch up on the chat here a little bit. Invited another pet store as a purchasing assistant to evaluate products for importation. Oh, that's right. Invited by another pet store. Oh, that's right. So, yeah, Corey is going to China, so that's why he's throwing into the chat. He's going to China to help out another local fish store and help them for their importing, the stuff that they're importing. You know, basically another local fish store was like, man, I need help figuring out exactly what I should be and shouldn't be. And so he's going to help import stuff. So that's pretty cool, man. I'm pretty excited for it. I don't fight my water. Yeah, Savannah the Aqua Llama there says I don't fight my water. I add minerals via coral and stuff, but that's it. That's for the female guppies. Yeah, that's advice that I give a lot of people, is to not fight your water. Mainly just because it costs money and energy to really fight your water and trying to do certain things. I mean, obviously, if you're somebody that's like, hey, I don't care about the cost or, you know, how long it's going to take to do the things that you're trying to do, then I'll go for it. You know, not a big deal. But I really don't encourage people to fight their local water and try to, try to completely change, you know, hundreds of gallons of water every month to try and, you know, keep something specific when you could more often than not find something that's either close or it's got some of the same things that you're wanting to do. But obviously, if you have a heart set on something and you're willing to do the work, then definitely go for it. But the incurring cost is one of the things that really gets me, is that you know, if you're just constantly replacing and buying filters and DI media and, you know, always servicing your RO unit, it gets a little bit crazy, you know what I mean? So I just don't encourage people to do that. Well, let's see here. I think we kind of ran over the pearlweed here for a while, so... let's see. Aquatics is saying, so if I start talking about steak, you're going to start frying up some filet? Yeah, probably. Probably. Why not? It's in my wheelhouse. I know how to fry up filet. How quickly can you trim? How completely can you trim down a whole, an entire petite filet? How quickly can you do it? Because I used to run this big steakhouse for a Texan guy. And so you get the whole side, basically, of where the filet mignon comes from. The easiest way to explain it. So where those petite fillets come from is this whole long muscle group. And they come bagged up like that. And they are weird. And not easy to trim. Especially for new people. They have strange silver skin in weird spots, and it's an extremely expensive cut of meat. So one of the guys I used to work for, this Texas guy, was pretty funny. He sprung his test on me. So he threw down 3 whole sides in the bags, and he said, each one if you can trim all of these down into the proper steak size in each one, you've got 60 seconds to do. You get to keep your job. Needless to say, the dude stood there with a freaking stopwatch that looked like it came from, like a train conductor from the 1800s or something, and timed me on each one. And it was a little bit crazy because I got them done. And it worked out. And I got to keep my job, and everybody was happy, and everybody had a bunch of laughs until I started timing everybody else's trimming time. And, yeah. So I could. It's in my wheelhouse, right? I could pull that off, I think. So, yeah, trimming down sides of beef like a maniac, and, yeah, I can get that done. Let's see here. Oh, I move my chat window all super big. All right. Well, hopefully everybody... Well, I'll still be here if we need to answer more questions about pearlweed. I'm just going to go back to the full screen here so that we can hang out here and chat for a little bit. Chat time. Cool. Kim Yawarski says she loves the Trailer Park Boys. I agree. I love the Trailer Park Boys. It was a funny show. The Bottle Kids is a great invention, especially because they were trying to blow the budget. The backstory on that was they were in an argument with their production company, and they were trying to blow the budget on sugar bottles, which is what they use to actors throw at each other when somebody throws a bottle at somebody else. Kevin Keener is asking, what is your favorite brand style of knife for butcher? Hold on a second. I can look this up real quick. Where's the Amazon? Where's the Amazons, you guys? Let me find it here right quick. Let's get to shooting. I'm trying to think of the word. There we go. Where is it? I can find it here. Well, one of them's way too expensive. So let's see. Text, copy. Oh, I think I have to put it into... Hold on, I think I have to change this link here. I don't think it'll play that. Oh, it does. Okay, so it's down with the Amazon links. Okay, so these are the knives that I always use, the Shun knives. But as far as a cleaver goes, that one is super, super expensive, and one that I used to use on a regular basis, let's see, copy, is this one right here. That's currently listed at like less than half the price. It's the same style of hammered steel, folded steel like that. It's just a different, cheaper company. Or not cheaper, but more affordable. So these, the Dalstrong Shogun series is a very similar feel. The steel is as durable, I would say, as the Shun. Holds its edge for a long time. The old Wusthof knives are just garbage these days. Sorry to Wusthof, but they just kind of are. Shun actually has a set of meat knives that's the boning one and the meat cleaver, and I can't seem to locate it right now. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't find it. Somebody texting me? Why is somebody texting me during the show? This is ridiculous. Well, I can't seem to find him. Oh, here we go. Nobody's selling them new anymore. Sorry. But the Shun knives are the ones that I would definitely recommend the most, for sure. 100%. I've fully beat the crap out of those knives over and over and over and over and over and over and over. I've gotten them reshaped. I got a tang put back onto one, which is the handle replaced. Fantastic edge retention. They actually hold up for a really long time. You know, my daily use knives, I'd only have to get them sharpened like once every 2 weeks, which is a big deal. It's a big deal in the restaurant. Like if you're a chef, edge retention on your blade is very, very important. And it's a big issue when you have to get it, when you have to get them resharpened all the time, because you just, A, you don't have time, and B, you have mobile knife sharpening guys that come around, and then it just ends up at, you know, each knife is $11 to get it sharpened every time. So if it's costing a ton of, if you're having to do it like every week, that starts to really add up. You know, if you have 5 knives and it's $11 for each knife, it's $55 a week, man. So it's pretty crazy, you know. But yeah, the Shun knives are fairly expensive, but as Kevin Keener saying, I can't stand most new knives. They made them so hard. They chip when you try to sharpen them. If that's the case, your sharpening technique is incorrect. Your cutting technique is incorrect also if you're chipping your knives. Sorry. That's hard. That's tough love, my brother, but that's what's happening with that. But yeah, if you're looking for a softer knife, then just go to any local restaurant store and get a $10 Dexter and run it through your garbage disposal whenever you feel like you don't like it anymore. You can just get rid of it, right? They're about $10. They're not $100 or anything crazy like that. Do. Oh, it's Vicky texting me. Good. She's headed this way. Let's see. Okay. Well, let's just answer some questions from the chat. Cool. Wasabi Tsunami says, FYI, I never eat over your tank. Now, my fish now have a taste for a BLT. Ooh, yeah. I think everybody has a taste for a BLT. That's delicious. Haley Wilson's saving up for a pleco tank, and I want to put a sump on it. Planning a 40 breeder, 20 long. Nice, but no experience with stuff. Advice with building, plumbing, water levels, compartments, etc. Yeah, I've got lots of advice on that. I've got zero demonstration of it here. I do have a bunch of videos of drilling tanks and setting things up, but I don't know how I would be able to like just verbalize that. But one return, one overflow. You're gonna need some basic plumbing parts. Some basic plumbing parts, a few other things. You know, setting the water level, you want to set it so that, you know, when it turns off, it doesn't flood the sump down below. And how to do that is just sort of denial and error, you know. Speaking of Trailer Park Boys earlier, that's one of their denial and error. So you're just going to have to get the trial and error kind of stuff together. That's probably... I don't know. That's probably just the worst advice I just gave to anybody. But yeah, the bulkheads that you're looking for, you can't get them in a local store. I have to order them. I have to order them off of Amazon, and it sounds weird, but even I have to order them. It sounds weird. But even Corey has to order them. Like we actually had to order some the other day because we didn't have the right sizes. But here is a link to that. There's a bulkhead link right there. That'll get you to the Lifeguard Aquatics bulkheads. These are the right bulkheads. Now, depending on the size that you want to put in it, on a 40 breeder, you probably want a 1-inch return. So that will be coming from the pump up down below, up into the tank. Will be a 1-inch pipe. Heading up. The bulkheads you won't be able to get at the hardware store. Everything else you'll be able to get at the hardware store. Any of the 90-degree turns, the PVC pieces, any of that kind of stuff. The strainers you won't be able to get at the local Five and Dime. They won't have them there. But here is the bulkhead screens, right? So these are the screens that will actually go into the bulkhead or into the PVC piece that will go on, so that the overflow, you know, doesn't send fish down to the bottom or any of that kind of stuff. So there is that piece right there. And then now pump, right? Let's see if I can't find the pump here real quick for you. Here is one of the pumps that I am really enjoying owning right now. And that's this one right here. Boom. Copy, paste. Paste. There we go. That's the pump that I'm really enjoying using right now. It's a great little DC pump. It has a power on-off switch. It is fully set. You can set it to whatever speed you want it to go. And it's a really nice pump for $72. It's pretty darn good. And I'm actually using these pumps now, as you guys probably could have seen from Monday's video. I'm actually using my return pumps that come up from the sump to actually power my new reactors and stuff, which I'm very excited because I finally the other day, I was able to order some hose and parts that I'm very excited to be putting in and showing you guys how to do that, to hardline in, because now that I've tested it, I'm pretty happy with what I got going here, but I want to permanent this thing in so that I'm able to keep the reactor in place exactly where I want it to be, and do a few things. And if anybody's wondering if I'm going to make a new CO2 reactor, you're darn right. You're darn right. Version 2.5 Mark 16. I don't know. I'm on I keep making these CO2 reactors. I can't stop doing it. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with making a really cool CO2 reactor. I can't stop, you guys. But my loss is your gain. My obsession is your gain. So, yes, I'm going to be making some more. I'm going to be making some more CO2 reactor stuff, and I'm going to be doing some more plumbing next week. But I'm super excited for it. Kevin Keener says, I found bulkheads at the local pond supply. I realize not everyone is lucky enough to have that option. One of the options is you could go to the aquarium co-op. I know that Corey carries those bulkheads. The Amazon is just a little bit easier for me because I don't know. Why is it easier for me? I don't know. I guess I go to the co-op, so I would never probably like order that kind of stuff from the co-op. So maybe that's because I'll just like buy it when I'm up there, I guess. But I buy them in bulk normally. That link I gave you is just like the individual, because they were only like $3.99 or something like that. They're not super expensive. Like for me, it's just easier to get them off of Amazon. You know what I mean? You can get the hole saws off of Amazon too. They're pretty cheap. It's just being confident in cutting. I highly recommend to people out there, if you're going to try drilling glass for your first time, make sure it's when the $1 a gallon sale is going on. So worst case scenario, if you blow out a tank, it's only going to be $1 a gallon to get a new one, or to replace it or whatever. So, I would just do it that way. Let's see. Frank Dominguez saying to Dougie, where did it go? What was the question there? Oh my gosh, I got super chats I got to get to here, you guys. What is this, rookie amateur hour? Alvin Alejo with a $2 super chat. What was this nonsense? Hold on a second. Okie dokie. Okay. Hold on. We've got a $2 super chat from Alvin Alejo with the question, what is the most expensive fish you have ever gotten? Let me think here. I got lionfish maybe? I'm trying to think of the most expensive fish I've ever gotten. The most expensive critter I've ever gotten was crystal shrimp. That was the biggest purchase I've ever made, was crystal shrimp. I think it was $500 or something like that. $400, $450 was the biggest purchase I've ever made. For a fish. I can't think of the most expensive fish I've ever gotten. Might have been a really weird, oh gosh, I didn't even think about reef fish. Fish tropics and black tang. I didn't even, well, I said lionfish, so I did think of that. Which those are so cheap now. I don't think that even like really sounds like an expensive fish, but I think the most expensive was like a snowflake, probably. Probably a snowflake clown, something like that. I would guess. I think is probably the most expensive. I think the most expensive like fish I've ever bought was probably around the $100 mark. I think honestly anything way higher than that is sort of just like, eh. Like if I was going to spend more than $100, I want to get a big school, you know? Like I want to get like a whole bunch of something. You know what I mean? So, I've never been super huge on the really expensive fish. I did get a bunch of betas, wild betas in at one point in time. I think that was a $200 order, but I think there was 8 of them, I think there was 8 of them in there, so I don't know. They weren't that expensive anyhow. So let's see. Ed's Fish says, I think mine was a first generation lightning maroon clown. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. This Van de Vel, I don't know how to say your name. This Van de Velde, maybe? I don't know. Thies Van de Velde? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm close. I'm probably a million miles away. He's asking if I've ever owned discus. Yes, I've owned discus before. Frankly, I think they're kind of a boring fish, personally. Like, a lot of their excitement is at night when they sneak around and eat things. It's kind of boring. I don't know. I just think they're kind of a boring fish. They don't do much. They don't have a whole lot of doing a lot as far as I'm concerned, you know. But yeah, I've had them before. I never found them to be like wildly challenging to take care of, like a lot of people have seemed to give them that reputation. I mean, for a good reason, I kind of lump them in with kind of angelfish that I think if I was going to go like a big tank with like a discus type fish or something like that, I'd probably go Altums or something like that. Would be the direction that I would probably go if I was going to go somewhere in there. That's probably where I would end up, I think. But I don't know. I mean, there's so many discus around the area out here. I just kind of find them, like, personality-wise kind of boring. But, ow, what was that? But I do appreciate, like, how beautiful a lot of them are. And I think they're quite cool as a fish. I just think for me, keeping them kind of like, it's kind of boring. But that's just me. Barbara Jackson says, yeah, I'm digging my dwarf neon spotted rasboras. Smallest fish I've had up until now. Yeah, dwarf spotted rasboras would be something that I definitely get into. Would be something I would more likely get into than discus personally. Just because there'd be a lot of zazz going on in there. Let's see. Kevin Keener says Dean's red koi's beat Altums. But you know what? Dean's everything pretty much defeats everything. I mean, he's just... if I get to hang out with him next week, I'm pretty excited if I get to hang out with Dean next week. It could be super fun. I'll be pretty excited for that. I've got a $2 Canadian super chat here from BC Fish Room saying, enjoying the show. As always, thanks. And we've got a bunch of super chats today, you guys. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, you guys. I think I turned that into a one-word thing. What is this? What is going on over here? What? What is this? All right, Victoria's being weird. Sorry. One of the few things that distracts me is my future bride, Victoria, and she's apparently sending $1 back and forth through PayPal. I don't know 100% why. I have to figure this out at a later date, but I was like, what is going on over here? It's like my wallet over here is like, what's happening? I don't know what Vicky's doing. She's doing something weird. I'll figure it out after the show. Sorry for the minor interruption there, you guys. Savannah the Aqualama says, what is your opinion on keeping strain lines pure rather than allowing guppies or others to cross? Well, it really depends on what your project is. Because honestly, I think that if you're, trying to maintain a species, like for instance, if you're involved in, trying to maintain a species that could be going extinct, right? What's one of them that comes to mind off the top of my head? Banggai cardinals. Banggai cardinals, or saltwater fish, just comes to mind because I was involved in breeding them back in the day. But if you're trying to, Mateo says, sounds like a test of a PayPal. It's more than $1 that she's sending back and forth. So I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what she's doing. It's going to be some kind of thing that Vicky's doing that makes total sense. I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out later. So let's see. Yes. So if you're involved in trying to maintain a species, then it is very important to follow most of the standard operations in order to, maintain genetic lines to where they should be. But I feel like if you're a hobbyist, you should certainly stray down the road of hybridization. Realistically, natural hybridization. I wouldn't be going for extreme stuff or anything like that, but I don't think as hobbyists it should be a huge paranoia for the average everyday person. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, these are red now, or these are orange now, or these are yellow now, or these are this, right? I don't think that should be super important for a hobbyist, except for, like I was saying earlier, if you are involved in trying to try and breed a species back, then I would be concerned about it and be following, following the standard practices to make sure that that you're falling in line, right? But most hobbyists aren't doing that. Most hobbyists are just having a good time. And, if we're just having a good time and trying to enjoy our ecosystem, enjoy the fish that we keep, the shrimp that we keep, and all that kind of stuff, then I think, honestly, I would be more of the opinion that keeping healthy fish and keeping them breeding would be more important than worrying about line breeding. And if you're line breeding to try and get to a specific, like say you were trying to make the Savannah guppy, right? You're trying to make the specific Savannah the Aqualama guppy. It's probably going to take 8, 9, 10 years to get to that point. So I've seen a lot of hobbyists like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my own thing. And, they start out strong, and a couple years in, it's like, oh, never mind, I don't want to do that anymore. So I personally would think that if if you're really trying to do some kind of project, I would just sit down and think about the timeline if that's something that you really want to do. And it's no cut on you as a person specifically. I've just seen a lot of hobbyists like kind of just give up. And here's a perfect example of myself as a hobbyist just going, I'm going to give up, is that the female guppy, I'm done waiting for this female guppy to give birth. I'm 50% sure, I'm 70% sure she's just reabsorbed. She's just reabsorbed the fry that she had, and it is pointless and useless for me to try and breed from one pair. And I'm just going to get more guppies if I want to have guppies. And those guppies that are there, I'm just done caring about them, not like in a ruthless, mean, or weird way or anything like that. I'm just going to be like, dude, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with this weird guppy bet or project or whatever that I'm trying to do. Like, and here's a perfect example of this guy right here going this 6-month timeline or whatever I'm on here, a 3-month timeline, 5 months timeline. I'm a pretty patient guy. But I didn't even set out to really do this breed a whole colony from 2 guppies, and I'm already over it. So I'm just going to get some guppies, and I'm pretty much going to start sending out the bat signal to figure out who's got the coolest guppies in Western Washington that I can get. I'm going to find some cool ones. I'm going to quarantine them, and then I'm going to add them into that tank. That's what's going to happen. Oh, no, the female will get bred from whoever I add, Kevin. Whoever I add in there will get bred with whatever males get put in there. So they'll be useful. There's no reason to feed them to the chickens just yet. You know, no reason to be mean to them. Let's see. Boo this guppy. Let's see. Trying to read the chat here. But we've got a £5 super chat from Ashley Taylor. Thank you very much for chipping in, Ashley. Let's get to your question here, though. So she says, I sold my discus. I think I only had them for show reasons, to be honest. Can't explain, but didn't enjoy them. Replaced with Severums, enjoy them much more. Yeah, I am not shocked to hear that statement. I'm really not shocked to hear that statement, honestly. It pretty much encompasses exactly what... It pretty much exactly encompasses kind of what I was talking about, is that the discus, they just kind of get boring over time. And obviously that is an opinion, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm bored is my deal, not the discus's deal. But I just got kind of bored dealing with them. And I think that's what ends up happening to a lot of people. It's like, wow, you need like all these water changes. You need all this, like, you know, I got to pay attention to you all the time. And all they do is just kind of like, but I'm bright blue. Right? And you're kind of like, okay, well, all right. Severums would be a much better choice, I think, for most people. They're super colorful, a lot of variants, fun to take care of, and they definitely move around a lot more. They're a lot more active and stuff like that. So, whoa, whoa, something went down the wrong pipe. Whoa, something went down the wrong pipe. Let's see here. You need to wine and dine your guppies. Gotta buy a girl dinner before. I'm not breeding with my fish. What are you, ridiculous? What is he? Oh, Bentley Pascal says, want some albino koi guppy babies. They technically came from Corey. Possibly. We need some screenshot action. If anybody has some impressive guppies here in the Western Washington area, you can either post them up on Face page, you can post them up on the Patreon, you could post them up on, you could post them to my, what's the word I'm looking for here? You could send them to my email. Like if you were Kevin Keener, who sent me an awesome email this morning. Thank you very much for sending that in, Kevin. Fantastic email this morning, and I appreciate it. It was really cool. It was really cool. So if anybody has some really cool Western Washington guppies, maybe regular Washington, maybe Northern Oregon, something like that. If you got something really cool, send in some shots, some snapshots. You know what I'm saying? So send those in, and I'll check them out. Let's see. My tetras keep eating all of their eggs. Anyone know why? That's just the name of the game. If you get them to scatter onto something like a mop, something like some moss. Get them out of there. They're always eating, and they will always eat them. Not always eat all of them or anything like that, but they definitely will eat some of them. That's for sure. So if you can pull the eggs out of there, it's one of the reasons people sell all those yarn mops and stuff like that. If you can get them to do that, then you can definitely get the eggs out of there. You can definitely be hatching them. Still have blue male Moscow guppies. We'll see what I can get. We'll see what I can do with him. Awesome, Annie. That sounds great. At Dougie. What's going on here? As a first-timer, I would be worried to keep them. Well, Frank and Doug are talking back and forth here, and I'm trying to catch up with what they're saying, but I realize that's never really going to happen. Michael Davis says, people want the impressive fish instead of what they enjoy. The cheap stuff is sometimes the coolest. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I feel like anything that is considered cheap and you get it bountifully, right? So that means if you get like a huge population of them, it ends up being really cool, right? I remember somebody was explaining to me at one point that neons are the dumbest fish ever, and this and that and the other thing. And that same person sent me a link to, a big aquascape tank that had like 800 neons, a school of like 800 neons in it. And they were like, "Whoa, dude, look how awesome this is." And then it's like, "Yeah, but you said neons were the worst." And it's like, "Yeah, but there's a ton of them." So that's kind of my recommendation to a lot of people out there is that, like, well, if I get this one $200 fish, you probably could have got $102 fishes, which would be way cooler, right? So, or let's say you were going to buy a $1,500 fish, like a skate or a big arowana or something like that. Might be way cooler to get 700 neons, right? It would be way cooler, I think, I don't know. That's what I think when I see really, really, really expensive fish. I think, man, what can I do with that money that I would consider to be a lot funner, And also, like, with the, I added the rummy nose to the 240. I had a whole bunch of them, and I do have to imagine that at some point in time, if I get them to breed and actually breed and raise tank-raised rummy nose tetras, those are probably going to be worth something to someone. That they are, those are aquacultured rummy nose? Whoa. That's awesome. I need aquacultured rummy nose. More often than not, you can take a cheap fish and make it worth more if it is aquacultured too. So I would look into that stuff. If you do have I have the fear of pulling the trigger on buying something super, super, super expensive like that. I've been around for some disasters. But I think if I do pull the trigger on something super expensive again, it's going to definitely be the beginning of a new giant school of high-end shrimp. That's probably going to be what I'm thinking, if I can ever get to that point. But I sent my check off to the government today, so don't think I'll be buying any shrimp anytime soon. Which is all right. The turtle girl says she's lurking and just heard funner. Yeah, funner's not a real word, sorry. More fun. Bump, 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 bump. Bump, bump. Wasabi Tsunami says most money on fish fishing for marlin. Caught a sunburn, that's all. Most expensive sunburn of my life. Yep. Let's see. Darren Wright says, I love this channel and your content and real fish talk, but you tut in between sentences and it kills me. What's a tut in between sentences? Darren, I appreciate what you're saying. I'm confused what a tut is, though, if I'm doing it between sentences. I'm still trying to stop saying along those lines. So if I'm doing something stupid, I would love to hear what the tut means. And maybe it's me doing this. Maybe it's that. I don't know. RJL saying, when I see people spend $200 on a beta, I cringe. Actually, that just reminds me that... what's the word I'm looking for here? I bet that will probably be the most expensive fish of my future will probably be koi. That will probably be... the koi will probably end up being the most expensive fish. The most expensive fish that I've ever had will probably be the koi. I would almost guarantee it. I'll be heading over to koi.com for like 100%. 100%, I would guess. And get something really cool. Jackson Kobalark says, FYI, we still can't rewind while you're live. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I was trying to figure out why you couldn't rewind while I'm live, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. After some chaos from yesterday, I don't think I like it that people are able to rewind when I'm live. So, I don't know. I'll figure it out though. I'll see if I can look into it, but you know. Let's see. Did I ever get a response from Darren Wright? I love this channel, but you tut in between sentences. Yeah, I still don't know what that means. Magic 21. My mom says, yikes, taxes. Yeah, that was today, man. So today was a little bit goofy, and that's how it was. Noah G is here. Who's the woman in the painting? That is Lauren Bacall. Yes, yes. All right, I never saw back from Darren. So if anybody sees from Darren, let me know. Let me know what he's saying if he posts up in there. And we'll talk about some other stuff for a little bit here. But the koi, I think, will probably end up being the most expensive fish, probably, that I'm even planning on. One of the projects that I'm actually considering at this point. And I know this will freak out some people, but I'm considering getting rid of the reef. I'm considering it. I'm considering getting rid of the reef and getting a... I'm considering getting rid of the reef and... building 3 tanks that go in that spot. I'm considering it. Maybe if Fluval sponsors it, right? I don't know. I'm considering doing it, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm considering if that's what I'm going to do or not. I know it's going to probably freak out. Okay. Yeah. No, Darren, I didn't think that. Okay, so Darren got back. He said, yes, that's the tut. A tut before speaking any sentence. Please don't think I'm being an arse. I don't think... Okay, so just to clarify, I don't think that you're being a jerk or anything like that. I honestly, if there's some weird thing that I do that bothers people, which, like I was saying earlier, is that there's a somebody was freaking out because they couldn't believe that I'd be eating a cookie while on a live stream, and I'm like, well, it is 2 hours long. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'm really hungry and I eat something like a cookie so that I don't freak out, right? So I don't freak out and start yelling at somebody like that or anything like that, which, you know, I feel like is a little bit of crunching sound or something like that is probably better than me losing it, you know. But if I'm doing something that's really bothering somebody, I am a fan of listening back to the audio if something's screwed up. Like you guys were mentioning that you can't rewind when it's live, but you know, I don't know what to tell you guys about that, because I looked into the latency issues. People were saying it was a latency deal, and I could either change it to really low latency, which means people are able to talk faster, or people are able to chat faster and whatnot, but you know, like the resolution and everything is going to be pretty terrible. But I'll see which is the middle ground that's going to work for everybody. Bentley Pascal's gotta go. Time for that guy to drive home. RJ says many of us are eating cookies just as you speak, right? Oh, Nisi says she needs gluten-free cookies, which means we got to make some of the garbanzo bean cookies, right? Going to make some of those. Wait, are there gluten in? No, there shouldn't be gluten in garbanzo beans. I think it's the garbanzo bean cookies we used to make. JW says, just watched the unboxing, Joel. Great job. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. That's awesome. All right. Well, you guys, we're coming up on the end of the show. And I don't feel like I'm, not to shortchange anybody. I don't feel like I'm shortchanging everybody. I think we talked about a bunch of stuff. Definitely had a show today. It's 1 hour and 49 minutes in, so I think we'll start to wrap it up. We'll say our goodbyes. And I want to say thanks to all the super chatters today. We're going to run through them real quick. Rumbus for the super chat. Gone Mad, Aquarium Co-op, Doug of the North, Joel G from New Zealand, Alvin Alejo, Jeff Rose Fish Keeping, Denise Bender, Vexing Cat, JJ's Aquariums twice, Alvin Alejo again with two super chats today, BC Fish Room, and finally Ashley Taylor. Man, what a bunch. Awesome group of super chatters. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate it. Huge, man. I don't even know what to even really like, how to convey like how stoked I am about you know, the kind of support that we get here and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing, you know, like the community is the whole reason I show up, and that's the whole reason I come out here and make this show, you know. So thank you guys for coming out, having a good time, and talking about some stuff, having questions. Any questions that people have, you could always send in via the email. If I didn't get to you in time, they will post the email in the chat. They will also been posting links to which the affiliate link to the Aquarium Co-op. If you guys were checking that out, I'm always trying to give AquaPros Mike a hard time by beating him on the Aquarium Co-op affiliate action or whatever, any of that kind of stuff that's going on, whether it's the Amazon links or any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, check out any of that. And we got t-shirts, we got nonsense. Thank you guys, it's so awesome. And thank you everybody for coming out. Vicky just popped into the chat. She says my weekend life's right there, says hello. And we're just wrapping it up here at the end of the show. Everybody say hi to Victoria as we head out here. I'm gonna scroll through the chat here and see if there's any kind of quick question to get to real quick. Darren Wright says, I hope one day to meet you and Corey. I hope you both come to UK. Until that day, I will watch every video and listen to every podcast. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you, Darren. Man, that is huge. You know, it's comments like that that are like, dude, I'm gonna keep doing my best here to like get shows and content out to you guys, and I'm gonna keep it going. We might actually be hot secret coming up. We might be out in Europe fairly soon. Who knows? I know Kobe will be out there in Europe fairly soon, so maybe at least it's a shorter trip where you could go in the EU, right? And be able to come meet us, or at least meet Corey, you know. So that would be pretty cool. Thanks everybody for coming out, and just an extra thank you to the super chatters. You guys know that ends up right back in the fund here for you know, get the gerbils and hamsters some fresh fruit and vegetables and stuff, and you know, keep them running on the wheels here. Keep the lights turned on and stuff. And oh, Matthew Fish right at the end says, "Love you being you." Ah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat. I'm gonna get out of here, and there's my lady Victoria. She should be pulling up here fairly soon, so I gotta get out of here. I gotta skedaddle and get ready for my lady she's coming home. You know what I'm saying? So I will holla at you later. Where's that button at? Lord, help me, where's the button?